COVID Chronicles, day 3. Before I say anything, I just want to say to any government out there, any government, not just the Finnish government, even though their vaccine rollout at the beginning and well, all of their vaccine rollouts were just miserable. If you have not started boosting your working population yet, and you're going to hold off on it for like another month, 2 months, maybe more, I don't want to hear you pissing and moaning about how you don't have enough bodies in your workforce. You don't have enough nurses. You don't have enough people working in the food industry. You don't have enough people watching the crosswalk. I don't know. Um, I think that countries need to learn from how slowly they acted last time, especially Finland. They acted at a snail's pace getting vaccines out to people and boosters. They're only boosting people over 65 or people who are severely immunocompromised. And you got to know that they're sitting on tons and tons of doses. So there's absolutely no reason whatsoever to not offer people the booster. There's just no reason. Start boosting people. Everybody. Anyway. Yeah, so day 3 has been much better than day 1. A bit better than day 2, yesterday. My fever is largely gone. The up and down fluctuations of my temperature pretty much gone. I still have a sore throat, some sore joints, only today it's my right knee more than in my back. And I've got this weird fullness right here in my ear. Could be from COVID, I don't know, but it didn't start happening until I tested positive. Sometimes when I'm watching TV or playing a game or listening to someone talk, I can kind of feel like a rumbling in my ear. And fatigue. The weird thing about the fatigue for me is that it comes and goes. Like, for example, when I woke up, I felt like I could go straight back to bed after like a half hour of being awake, even after my coffee. And then I got this kick of energy, and I went up the stairs and I started to do some dishes, and I was feeling pretty good. And then the minute I hit start on the dishwasher, ugh. So I went back downstairs, sat down in my chair, watched or caught up on AEW, and energy just smacked me in the face again. And I wanted to do so much with that energy, but I know that I shouldn't. Like, I've been dying to play drums, but I probably shouldn't tax my system too much. In fact, 2 days before I tested positive for this, I was out in the yard raking leaves and doing some other moving of stuff, and I'm almost certain that I overdid it. But I just think this even it sucks having the virus, but having it now is it probably the best time to have it. Better than having it back in 2020 or even 2021 when the variants really started to fly around. And I was even more perplexed that governments, Finland included, were just sitting on all these vaccines. They had the vaccines. All they had to do was just distribute them. And it's like, oh, I don't know if we can do that yet. Let's ask Sweden. Anyway, and my throat, yeah, is still a little sore. But I think I'm past the worst of it. Now comes the time to start looking out for the dreaded long COVID that I've been reading about and dreading for 2 years now, or about a year and a half, ever since they started talking about long COVID and the long-term effects, like people getting long-term insomnia, long-term coughs, long-term fatigue, or just straight up lethargy, and long-term dizziness. And Yeah, I really hope that's not the case. Long-term tachycardia too is another one that I read about. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. And long-term brain fog. That's another one. People have been complaining about like months after their infection that their brain fog is just like debilitating and they can't work. So we'll see. I guess we'll see. But I'm in much better spirits today than I was yesterday. Um, I had some visits, and it made me feel really nice that people still care. Uh, but I got to tell you, it's going to be a much rougher winter in Europe here than previous, thanks to Putin. And we don't need matters complicated even worse by having people drop left and right again from yet another variant of COVID. So just start fucking vaccinating people, okay? You got the boosters, throw them out there. That's all I have to say for right now because I feel like I could just fall asleep right now.